FlossTube. My name is Shelly and welcome to my channel, So Much to Learn. This is my first FlossTube video and I will be recording it today on Saturday, August 3rd, but I'm going to be filming it in segments, so it probably will be uploaded tomorrow, August 4th, 2019. Welcome to my channel, and even though this is my first FlossTube video, I don't really want to do a who am I and an introduction. If you want to find out more about me and my life, ask questions in the comments section, and I'm more than willing to give you information. But I think that there are more organic ways to get to know me than one FlossTube video that tells you everything. Instead, what I will tell you is that I began stitching in the 1980s through the beginning of the 1990s, but life got in the way. I went to college, I got my master's degree and so forth. I moved, I changed jobs. Luckily though, all of my stitching material and my seed beads from when I made jewelry followed me. Actually, they stayed in my parents' house until they threw it into my new condo in 2000 when I got it. But I never really dug through the box. And so now that I'm digging through the box and I'm watching FlossTube, I'm ready to venture into cross-stitching a la 2019. So if I'm not going to tell you about who I am in my first FlossTube video, what is it that I want to share with you? And what I would like to share with you are the discoveries I've made in the last 3 months about what I love about stitching in 2019 and how it's changed so much since 2008. And I actually created a list of top 10. So what I would recommend is that you get a drink and you get comfortable. You might want to put me on pause while you do that, but when I'm watching you, I just listen in the background while I take care of the stuff that I need to. And I'm going to bring to you my list of the top 10 ways I see that have benefited my new rediscovery of cross-stitch. Number 10. So number 10 is more than just loop start. There's loop start, pin stitch, diagonal stitching, cross-country stitching. You name these stitches, I never tried them except for cross-country, because in the 80s, the only way I had to figure out how to cross-stitch was from the back of the pattern. I didn't have anyone to show me, and I was still in high school, and a lot of times I would tie knots. It wasn't good. So the loop starts are my favorite, but the two drawbacks are when you're using variegated floss, you shouldn't, because it will not, the variegation won't come out as nice. And then the other drawback is that you have to have even numbers of threads, which isn't difficult if you're using two. But sometimes we know that we like to stitch with one thread. The pin stitch is amazing. I love the pin stitch. And every time I go to my parents' house, there's a clown throwing glitter in the air and juggling it. And there was so much confetti. And I did cross-country stitching. I didn't know that I could pin start or pin stop. And so that's really helped me advance in my stitching. I can now work with confetti without having long distances between each thread color. I'm able to hide the start and the stop of the stitch underneath the thread. Now, don't get me wrong, because I would never judge you based on the back of your work. When I see someone's backside, I am amazed that some people can do it and make it look just as pretty as the front. I am not that way. So if you do, more power to you, but I'm not the type that's going to judge you because you stitch cross-country or your thread went beyond where it needed to. I don't get hung up on that, and really, I don't think that you should get hung up on that either. It's about stitching and what makes you happy. And stitching, all forms of stitching, back stitch, forward stitch, cross stitch, half stitch, quarter stitch. It all makes me happy. And that's the most important thing. If you're happy, don't worry about what anyone else says. Start your cross stitch. Do you start in the middle, upper left, bottom right? It's up to you where you start. But early in my search on FlossTube, I found a lot of people talking about diagonal stitching. And when I started, I always started in the middle. But hey, 2019, now I can do anything I want. And diagonal stitching really works for me when I'm doing a full coverage project. If the diagonal stitching blends the stitches better so you can't see where you start or stop, I haven't gotten that far yet. But ultimately, I love the way the pattern appears as I work diagonally across the page. And I've seen other people doing this as well. Help from Needlebug, and that's 2 G's because it's her last name. She has a lot of different videos. There's also one by Blitz Stitch, and he goes into it with his own drawings and diagrams. So if you're visual, you might want to check his YouTube channel as well. But Needlebug also has a Facebook page for the love of diagonal stitching, and it's where we get together and talk about diagonal stitching and we share our work. So if you're at all interested in diagonal stitching, I really recommend that you check out her YouTube channel as well as you look at the Facebook page. She's not the only one that teaches it, as I mentioned someone else's name, but she gives very thorough information on it. FFOs. I have a secret, and you taught it to me. We don't need to put our finished products in a frame. We can make pillows. We can put them on clipboards. We don't have to do anything with them. So FFOs, I can't wait to finish and figure out what I'm going to do next, because all I have to do is go on to FlossTube and see what you beautiful people have done with your finished products. Number 8, Hade. Now, just in case there's someone that's never heard of Hade and you're a beginner like I was 2 months ago, Hade is heaven and earth design patterns. They are fabulous. They are large. They are full coverage. They are everything. But a heaven and earth design can take years for some people. And, well, my wish list for at Hade, I have about 4 pages. I wasn't going to start with a Hade because, oh my gosh, it just seemed overwhelming. And then on Mother's Day, Hade had a sale, half off patterns. Well, half off, of course, hello, of course I need a Hade. And I bought a lovely pattern, So Many Books, So Little Time by Randall Spangler. And if I look at my wish list, so many of them are by Randall Spangler because I love his work. And the next one I buy from him will probably be The Library. I don't know the exact title because I wasn't planning on talking about that, but let me input a picture of the So Many Books, So Little Time that I'm working on now. Just steampunk. Now, if you haven't guessed, I think you might like this one. It is, you can leave your hat on. So let me input a picture of that there. I haven't started it, but I'm in love, again, with another Hade. Now, by Sandra Santara, but it'll be in the picture, so just give me a minute to put that on. I'm a steampunk fan, and so you can understand why I love the hat and I love his arm. The abs, the face, but the steampunk is terrific. Now, what's better than two Hades? A freebie. And Michelle Sayada, she gave a freebie away. And I love it. It's wild tiger eyes, and the colors are out of this world. Now, I'm not going to stitch it yet, but it's going to be on the back burner. And it might wind up in my rotations. Your eyes, gorgeous. Ugh. And green. I just love the color green. I love so many colors, but that is just breathtaking. Well, now there's a fourth Heaven and Earth design I want to share with you, and then I'll move on. And I'm not into cats, really. I love all animals, but I'm allergic to cats, so I kind of stay away from them. But this pattern surpasses my allergies. And Cat Crazy Chloe. So the picture doesn't come out great, but you do get kind of a headshot and the watermark. And I don't want people to think that I'm taking credit for it, because I'm totally not. This is a pattern that I'm in love with, that I want to buy. And if you're even remotely interested, I would encourage you to go to the Heaven and Earth Design website and check out Cat Crazy Chloe by Sheena Pike. Okay. There was some drama going on the Facebook page, the new official Heaven and Earth Designs group, when I first joined. I don't know what all the drama is about. It was about former partners and people taking patterns, that sort of stuff. But I will say this, Michelle Sayada, I wish you all the best, and I wish you prosperity. So just keep being you and keep doing the great work that you're doing. You make so many people happy with your patterns, myself included. Moving on to number 7, Easy Count Fabric and Easy Glide Needles. Both of these could have been included in number 7 with Heaven and Earth Designs, because I've purchased them both from there. But I think they're standout enough to earn their own place on the list. Now, Easy Count Fabric is really special in that there are grids of 10 by 10. Fabulous. In May, I thought, okay, I can do this gridding myself. I watched videos, I bought the metallic sulky silk threads, I put in my 10 by 10 boxes. Well, if you want to know what happened, you'll have to watch my apology video, which I will be filming soon. Just to say, I bought the material from Hay. 10 by 10 blocks are completely manageable, even if there's heavy confetti. And confetti isn't my favorite thing in the world, but it does help make the pattern more vivid. And so you have to put in the time if you want your end results to be fantastic. Now, Easy Glide Needles, Michelle Sayada at Heaven and Earth Designs has an arrangement to be the only seller here in the United States. So if you want this Easy Glide needle, you have to go through her. But the needle goes through the fabric like butter. Butter! It just glides. And so I really encourage you to try them out. Okay, I can't even describe what a great needle it is. It's really something that you don't know you're missing. And I wondered, how could these needles be so fantastic? Well, you can hear me go on and rave about it, but you're not really going to understand until you try them. So number 7 is my Easy Count Fabric, grids of 10 by 10, and Easy Glide needles. You can get the Easy Count Fabric from many vendors, but the Easy Glide needles, you need to go through the Heaven and Earth Design website. Number 6, rotations and stash. That's easy to get into. And I know in the 80s, I didn't have a lot of patterns to choose from, so I really was a monogamous stitcher. I didn't have something waiting in the background, burning a hole, calling my name, begging me to start it. And that's because Michael's, the craft store I used, didn't really have a lot of cross-stitch patterns. And today they have even less. So everything I learned from these patterns in the store. And the first time I watched Jessie Marie does stuff, I had a panic attack. I could not finish watching her video. Well, I'm happy to say that I've gone back and watched many of her videos, and I love her whips, and I love her passion for cross-stitch. 5 years on FlossTube must be celebrated. It's an amazing feat, and I hope to be lucky enough to still be around in 5 years to continue to add videos to FlossTube as well. How did I get beyond my panic attack? It was through you, through watching FlossTube, and I realized, what difference does it make if I take something out of my stash and I work on it? Nothing's going to happen. And working with Heaven and Earth designs, they take a long time. Many full coverage take a long time. It's not just Heaven and Earth. And I need a break. So in June, I worked on Heaven and Earth. In July, I worked on Long Dog Samplers. And in between, I had a few other small projects going because I've decided to make my family members Christmas ornaments and make that part of my new tradition. And I'd like to get one of those a month completed. In July, I did finish one, the cross stitching. Now I need to beat it. And I'm really excited to be able to put something away and take a break and pick up something else that I truly love and am passionate about. So rotations and stash are playing a vital role in my cross-stitch journey. And thank you all to those of you that shared your whips and your mania progress and all your starts, because that got me to see beyond being a monogamous stitcher. 5. We have Sal's, birthday starts, retreats, StitchCon, HaidCon 2020. The list goes on. So overwhelming, so exciting. So when I started my journey on cross-stitching, I made the first day to cross-stitch June 1st, 2019. And Shiro McKinney at Tranquil Stitches started a no drama Sal. I signed up. How could I not? Her friend Virginia made her a pattern, and it had 2 flowers, one on each side, and no drama in the middle. No drama. That's, to me, what cross-stitch should be about. And so she has a 30-minute-a-day challenge, and no problem. I can stitch 30 minutes a day. I finished the flower on the left. I'm 3/4 of the way done with the wording, and I stopped. The lettering, for some strange reason, was kicking my butt. I couldn't get through it. I had to keep ripping it out. Now, this cute little pattern will get finished. So Shiro, if you're watching, this will not become a UFO. I just stepped back from it, and I will finish it. So thank you for allowing me to participate in your Sal. I joined Jen Lee and her mother at 24 hours of cross stitch, and she had a 24-hour over Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of cross stitch. 24 hours, I can do that, no problem. I can do that with my eyes closed, and I'm so glad I joined. But let me tell you, I'm a legend in my own mind because out of those 3 days, I stitched for 5 hours. 5 hours. Are you kidding me? Don't know what happened, but the exciting part is this weekend, August 9th, 10th, and 11th, she's doing another 24 hours of cross-stitch challenge. So if you want to join, I would recommend going to her Facebook group, and that is hashtag 24 hours of cross-stitch. You can join the group and find out what's going on. You can even join a cute little group, Team No Bra, Team No Sleep, Team Red or White. I prefer both. And so it's just a fun way to stitch and challenge yourself. Now, Jen Lee also has a monthly acrostic, and you can find the acrostic pages on her Facebook group page as well. Hashtag 24 hours of cross stitch. I've been thinking long and hard. Do I want to have a birthday start? I wasn't sure. The birthday start that I wanted to do, I couldn't find a great pattern. And then I found artwork that I wanted to do. And the artist has partnered with Cross Stitch, and she does have her art in a pattern kit on Amazon. Let me put a picture of her original artwork, and then I'll talk about her cross stitch pattern that I purchased. Isn't it gorgeous? I love coffee, all coffee, morning, noon, and night. And if I'm not drinking coffee, I'm drinking iced tea. So what better birthday start than a coffee sampler? Now, as you can see, her colors are bold and vivid, and unfortunately, in the actual cross-stitch pattern, the background colors are not there. So I did order the pattern from Amazon, and I'll put the link below in case you want to join me on my birthday. My birthday is in September, but I'll actually start stitching this in October, and I'll go ahead and make it a stitch along, and I'll use the hashtag Java365Sal. Right? Now, to get the background to look more like the original artwork, I'm going to try to match variegated floss, and I don't know which ones I'll use. So if you have any suggestions of which colors you might use on the background of the pattern to make the actual coffee pop, I would like any recommendations that you might have. So again, this is Coffee Break by Krista Hamrick, and you can see her original work on Etsy, and I'll post the link to the pattern kit from Amazon in the notes. All right. Have you watched Ms. Oh So Crafty, Stephanie? She has quite a few stitching projects that I'm actually in love with. And one of those that I thought I might do for my birthday start is Little House Needleworks Hometown Holiday. If you've seen those patterns, there's 17 of them. And she's taken some and made one big sampler out of it. I'm in love with the snowflake border that she chose. She used Krennic, and it pops. It's just the perfect stitching. I'll actually put a link to one of her videos on YouTube where she talks about it. That Sal would take more planning because I don't want to do all 17 of them. I would probably choose 12. So I might save that for next year, and I'll keep that in mind. Finally, for this section, we have HadeCon 2020, but we also have StitchCon. And StitchCon opened their wait list on August 1st at noon Eastern Standard Time, but I'm on the West Coast. I was up and I'm on the wait list. A conference, StitchCon. I watched many of your videos from 2019, and to say I'm excited doesn't even explain how I feel about being on the wait list. And I just hope that I'm able to meet many of you there in 2020. So I have my fingers crossed. Hand-dyed fabric and floss. Are you kidding me? You artists out there are taking Aida cloth and you're dyeing it to perfection. No matter the color, the thread count, the project, someone is out there hand dyeing fabric and thread for us to use. And I am not going to get into the dyeing game. I will throw my money at you to buy the perfect color fabric and floss. So, wow, I no longer have to use white Aida unless I want to. And don't get me wrong, I learned to sew and cross stitch with white Aida, but now I don't have to use it. Number 3, Etsy. Sure, I've heard about Etsy for many years, but I never had any desire to go onto the website to see what handcrafted products people are making. And the thread and the floss is just the tip of the iceberg. Don't even get me started on needle minders. Did you know the British call them needle nannies? Ultimately, I don't care if you call them a needle minder or a needle nanny. I want them all. Patterns made by people like you and me, you wouldn't believe how stunning they are. And it doesn't matter if I want another Christmas pattern, I can find it on Etsy. Or if I need something snarky to get me through the rest of my day, Etsy has it. I want to make a cross stitch of Star Wars for a friend. They have it. Someone even made a pattern from A Christmas Story. Remember the dad wins a lamp from a major award? They have that lamp on there. So many cute things. So many great ideas. It's just there for the taking. Plus, PDF downloads. Etsy has it all. It's my one-stop shop. Creativity abounds. Number 2, Facebook and Instagram. I made my first Instagram account less than 2 months ago, and I'm learning to use it. I haven't been using it as much as I want, but it gives me a diary of my whips and my FFOs. And that's important to me because I like giving my work away. I don't like necessarily keeping it. Earlier when I showed you the Hague, those 2 I will keep. I don't know if I'll keep the Tiger Eyes one, but I will keep So Many Books, So Little Time, and I will also keep You Can Keep Your Hat On. Other than that, I try to make things that I know my friends and family will like, even though they don't support me 100%. And saying that, I've started a new Facebook group so that I can keep most of my stitching away from my family and friends. I found that they don't really mix. And it's not that you would come into my real life personal Facebook group and cause waves. It's that my family and friends don't support what I do. You'd think I was smoking crack in the bathroom or something. I'm an adult, as you can tell. I pay all my bills on time. I'm not in debt. So what do they care if I enjoy cross-stitching? I don't know, but some of them have a problem with it. My new Facebook group is So Much to Learn, and this so is SEW. And that's just my homage to you, the people of Facebook and Instagram who've been doing this for so long. I feel like I have a lot to learn from you, and I don't want to come in with a inflated ego. All right. So my Instagram account is Shelly70s. Don't forget the extra E because my parents had to make my life difficult by throwing 2 E's in my name. In fact, I'll put it down here or over here in a minute so that you'll be able to see how my name is spelled. And then there was number 1, the Shiro's of FlossTube. Were you wondering if I would get that far? Of course, I love each and every one of you. You invite strangers into your home, some of you on a weekly basis, and you share your love of cross-stitching. You share your love of craft and arts with us, and you're so gracious to do that. Now, not all cross-stitchers are female. I grant you that. But the majority of us are. And the majority of the floss tubers here are female as well. And so I have no problem using the term Shiro, because that's what you are. By keeping this centuries-old craft alive and sharing it with new people, coming up with new ways, new insights, and embracing everyone. And I think that must be celebrated. I'm not sure exactly when this happened, but within this 2-month journey, you've not been strangers, you've become my friends. I look forward to your videos. I want to see the progress you've made on your work. I want to hear your stories. And this is something I never believed would ever happen back in the 1980s. And it makes me wonder how we will be sharing this art in 2050. How will we continue to build and grow? And that's exciting to me. The first place I always go to for help when I get stuck on a project is FlossTube. And so many of you have already been there, and you have the answers. And it allows me to move forward. And 9 out of 10 times, the answer is there. And I hope through my videos I'm able to answer questions for other people. But I am no way putting myself out there as an expert. I'm a student, I am a learner, but I am passionate about cross-stitch. In my future FlossTube videos, I would like to have a segment where I celebrate a Shiro that has touched my life, or made me think of something in a different way, or helped me out of a jam. And I would like to highlight that person. Since this is my first FlossTube video, I'm not sure of the protocol. I'm not sure of FlossTube etiquette. And please, let me know if I'm stepping on someone's toes, because I don't want to come in and be a know-it-all. I want to come in and share. I hope you're still watching. And if you are, like my video and subscribe to my channel. So much to learn. I'm curious to know what your list of top 10 items would be for cross-stitching. If you've made a FlossTube video, let me know, and I would love to check it out. And I would also love to know what your list is. So thank you for watching me. Have a wonderful August, and be kind to one another.